Good evening. I'll call to order the City West Bend Plan Commission meeting for September 1st. Note that all the commissioners are present and accounted for. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll start by noting that we have 3 items on the agenda. The first being the approval of the minutes for the Plan Commission regular meeting of August 4th. Looking for a motion.
Motion approved. Second.
Thank you. Made motion second. Any discussions or corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Moving on to development proposals and site plans. Item number 1, SP-20-013, site plan for a facade change at 111 North Main Street by TRS Properties. The applicant is Tracy and Rebecca Surwatt of TRS, and the agent is Solid State Architecture. And we'll have a brief presentation by our Business and Development Director, Jim Reinke. Jim.
Good evening, everyone. The site plan is for architectural building renovations for 111 and 117 North Main Street. The developer is proposing to update the building facade. They're looking at cleaning up the existing brick and making necessary maintenance repairs on that, and then painting the brick to a cream city color paint color. They're also looking at updating the storefront and installing a new storefront window on the far north end, eliminating a doorway, and then also filling that area in with the brick work, matching the brickwork on the remaining building. They're also proposing to do a diamond pattern oxidized copper cladding that's going to be installed in the middle section of the building, and they're also using that same copper cladding on various parapets and around window trims to accent the building. Staff finds the architectural improvements to be acceptable. This plan also does identify the sign locations. The sign locations are going to be in that middle band where that copper cladding is going to be, and does comply with the sign ordinance for location below the second-story windows. They also have some wayfinding signs by the entrance doors for the various tenants. So staff would recommend approval with the conditions that sign permits be obtained prior to installation.
Thank you. I'll ask for a motion second first, then we can open it up for discussion.
Move to approve the support conditions.
Thank you.
Second.
Been motion second. Any discussion, questions for Jim? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Move on to item number 2, SP-20-012, a site plan for an industrial storage facility at 2130 West Decorah Road by LEI Properties. The applicant is LEI. The agent is Brookwater Group. Jim.
Thank you. This site plan is for the first phase of the development, which is essentially the eastern portion of the development for a 10,608 square foot industrial building. They're also proposing to do some storage bins just southwest of that building at 2220 West Decorah. The site plan also does identify a future phase 2, which would include 3 buildings and then some additional storage bins and an outdoor storage area. This would require separate plan commission approval. So tonight all we're approving is the first phase of that main building. The property is zoned M1 light industrial. Access to the site will be directly from West Decorah Road, and the shared driveway easement exists on the east side of the property, leading to this property and to the property to the north. 4 standard and 1 barrier-free parking stalls provided on the site for the appropriate number of employees for that development. A unique thing with this project is that there will be an on-site septic system along with a well, since sewer and water aren't available for the property. This well and septic will be used in conjunction with that new building. Stormwater management plan is required, and at this time has not been submitted yet. So prior to attaining any permits or anything, the stormwater management plan must be approved and reviewed by the engineering department. And this that would also include the future phases for this, along with the development to the north. Grades have generally been designed to drain to the north to the proposed stormwater areas, and the grades will need to be revised on the site plan to be consistent with that approved stormwater plan. Site lighting for the development will just consist of wall pack lighting that's on the building. Landscaping has been provided around the building, along the perimeter on the east side and the south side of the site, screening from Decorah Road. The architectural building elevations will consist of a light gray metal wall panel on the upper portion of the wall, and then also a dark gray 4-foot tall LP Smart Side wall panel that's used on the lower portion just for a material change. Staff would recommend approval of the site plan with the listed 4 conditions.
Thank you very much. So I'll be looking for a motion first for approval with those conditions.
Max has a question.
No,
Yep,
I
yep,
just.
I'll get to him in a second. Sorry.
Okay.
So we got Dolnick. Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, thank you. And yeah, Max, go ahead.
Who made the motion?
Dolnick,
Okay.
start.
I have several concerns with this site plan. We made comments during the review process that to us this is more like a concept plan. Technically, there's missing a lot of items that we require of a site plan. We don't have utility plans. We don't have several dimensions are missing. We've asked to see the recorded documents for easement for access, which would be shared among properties. We asked for easement for stormwater, which will go on the property to the north as well. I have a lot of concerns. There's the driveway issue. We want the driveway to be brought to code. It's a gravel driveway at this time, and it's fine that it's being grandfathered if the property was existing and it stays in that state. But as long as you're going to do a development, you need to bring the driveway to code. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen any dimensions to the driveways. We're missing information on the retaining walls. There's no grades on this plan. I shouldn't say that. There's the existing grades. We don't have proposed grades. I don't see myself voting for approval as a site plan. There's all the stormwater issues as well. So there's only 4 conditions for this approval. If the commission would move for the approval, I would ask that whoever makes the motion adds to the conditions that we also see the recorded documents for the shared access easement and anything that's related to stormwater easements or any other easements that would be affecting more than this one property. And I would like to have all this done prior to a building permit granted to the property.
I made the motion, and I would be inclined to withdraw my motion and table this unless, I mean, there's, if they're in a hurry to break ground, then there are going to have to be an awful lot of conditions from Max's list to be put on this. And normally I think we table, but do they have a timetable?
I have not been given a timetable for the construction.
Well, I don't want to move to table because that cuts off discussion, but I would like to withdraw my motion. Is that okay?
Yep, you can do that. I guess my question would just be for Jim. Were any of those concerns talked about then prior to this meeting, or what step were you guys
We
at?
didn't have all the comments sent out to them.
Okay.
I put it on the agenda to keep it moving forward because I do have the condition that all the grading and the stormwater stuff and the site plan be revised, all to be consistent for that.
So you comfortable?
Prior to any permits being issued.
So you comfortable from a development standpoint with us tabling it until those conditions, at least more of these conditions are met?
I'm fine with that, yes.
Okay. Sounds good. And Mark, do we need a motion to table then? Yep. Okay, then I'll look for him with that motion.
I'll move to table.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All right, it's been a motion seconded to table. Any other discussion, questions, concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of tabling, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And then we'll move on to B, final plans. Number 1, FP-20-001, a final plat and grading plan for Creekside Addition Number 5, a 25-lot single-family residential subdivision located along northeast of Edgewater Drive and Pintail Drive in the southwest quarter section 18, Township 11 North, Range 20 East, by Mike Carrick of MK/JC LLC. The applicant is Michael Carrick. Jim.
Thank you. This is a final plat and grading plan submittal for the Creekside Addition Number 5. This is just another portion or addition adding to this overall subdivision. The preliminary plat that was originally approved back in 2004 was for a 274 lot residential subdivision. Again, this is just another phase. It's another 25 lots. Essentially what they're doing is creating an east-west cul-de-sac for Arbor Vista Place, and then a north-south one for Woodside Court. Again, this plat is consistent with the preliminary plat that we had. The property, this area that's being developed is zoned RS3, single-family residential. The lot sizes conform to the requirements of the zoning district. We have 3 lots that do need to be revised to meet their frontage requirements for the RS3 that will be needed to be addressed prior to moving the plat forward to the Common Council. Access to this portion of the development will have access from the existing Pintail Drive and Reed's Drive. Sanitary sewer will be extended from the existing mains in Pintail and Reed's. Stormwater management plan was approved for the entire subdivision. Since we do have a minor change on the north-south cul-de-sac, we do need an amendment for that stormwater plan to address the changes in that configuration. The subdivision is designed to drain through the yards to various points, through swales and through catch basins, and then direct the water to the stormwater management facilities throughout the subdivision. The lots have been designed for either a flat pad or for a partial or full exposure type structures. And the subdivision does contain, or I should say these phases do have areas where we have significant fill areas to bring the lots up to the grade. So as part of the requirements, that soil compaction certification is going to be needed. This subdivision will also need an as-built grading plan upon the completion of the site grading. The subdivision itself for this was going to be constructed in 2 phases. Phase 1 is going to be the north-south cul-de-sac, and phase 2 is going to be the east-west cul-de-sac. So the timing of the construction of these are going to be at different times, not all done at the same time. As part of the subdivision, we will have restrictions for 2 of the lots because they do contain some primary environmental corridor. So we're going to have a restricting the lots from being intruded in those areas. This area also does have special utility charges for previous sanitary sewer that was extended as a part of overall utility extensions. So prior to releasing the plat, those utility charges would need to be paid. The subdivision will also require street trees along with park fees. Staff would recommend approval with the listed conditions for the final plat.
So, excuse me. Sounds great. I'd be looking for approval for the final plat with those conditions.
Move to approve with the 9 conditions.
Thank you. It's been motion second. Any discussion, questions for Jim? Seeing none, all those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful. Well, seeing that we have no further business before the Planning Commission, I'll adjourn by the call of the chair. Have a great evening.